Hi, Megan. Nice to see you.
Meet you.
All right, let's just jump right in. So, scenery is an inherently important part in visually establishing the tone of a production. Fun fact, I actually go to LSU where some of the most iconic scenes from the original film, like the riff-off, were shot. Yeah, that's fun. The show
Mhm.
is obviously set in Berlin, Germany, as the title denotes, and the city itself really shines through as almost its own character in the series. So, what was the production team's process in weaving the essence of Berlin into the fabric of the narrative and contrasting this backdrop with the more familiar ones from the original franchise, like Barton University?
Yeah, great question. I think that Berlin ended up being such a character in the show for a lot of reasons. Firstly, we shot the entire show there. Even the scenes that were set at Barton were shot in Germany at a school to look like an American school. And just by being there and seeing all the different types of architecture, you really feel that you are very far away from America. But it
Hmm.
also, for Bumper's character, I thought it was really important to put him in a city that was kind of nothing like him. Berlin, which I am obsessed with. I lived there for 3 months when we made this show, and I've truly fallen in love with it. It is, there's like a pure artistic current running through it. It has all this interesting architecture. It's very organized. And Bumper, more as he starts out the series, he's a little chaotic, a little ignorant. And I think putting him in conflict with this elegant city was really fun.
Yeah. And so, kind of following in that vein of making Bumper and Berlin stand out as its own production, the show does a really great job of setting a different tone from the films, whether that be by the more kind of offbeat sense of humor, the location, the wardrobe, etc. So, how did you balance playing homage to the original franchise while still making sure Bumper and Berlin stands out as its own production with its own unique identity? And what do you think was the most important aspect of differentiation?
Yeah, I think that first and foremost, what will make this show feel like the movies is the music, which is the centerpiece of both the movies and this TV show. We have like the OG acapella. We also have some new pop songs, including one written by Ryan Tedder, that hopefully will just expand the love of music of the series. But also, even taking Bumper into a completely new location and the show looks different, it still all comes back to this idea of friendship and camaraderie. And I think that will be, despite the location change, what fans recognize from the movies.
Yeah. And so, despite being a longtime fan of the series, you didn't work on the original films, which did give you some sense of separation, I imagine, that kind of helped you prevent you from falling directly back into that feel of the original film series just completely. So, despite this, and considering your background in television, did you find there were any difficulties trying to put this series in the context of a television show instead of a film like the original series?
Yeah, I mean, I think that you bring up a good point, which is that my distance from the movies, even though I was a fan, made it easier in some ways to just have my perspective on where this character could go. And it really just was a balancing act of making sure that this character looked and sounded like the guy that you are introduced to in the movies, while also taking him into a new direction. But I think putting it in Berlin was really helpful for that, because he already is going to feel like a different sort of character because he's in a completely different environment.
Yeah. And so we're running a little short on time. So my last question for you is what are you most excited for fans to see in Bumper in Berlin?
I am really excited for fans to see the range of some of these actors that they might have seen in other situations and shows. Like Adam is Bumper, but he plays so many different types of emotions in this show. He has romance, he has, friendship with Flula. He has all his silly comedy and music. Flula is a straight man in a lot of scenes and is an incredibly grounded actor in this show, which is amazing. Sarah, you get to hear her like Broadway level voice. Jamila has never sung before and is amazing. And then Lyra is a newcomer. So I think that the surprise of all these actors hopefully is really exciting.
Well, thanks so much for chatting with me. I really appreciate you taking the time to sit down.
Of course, it was so nice to meet you. Thank you.
You as well. Have a great day.
You too. Bye.